Okay, here we are for the dynamic EQ. So the dynamic EQ is a little bit different than the regular EQ because the dynamic EQ, as it says in the name, is dynamic. It moves. We can make it move down or we can make it move up depending on which kind of movement we want. So, say let's take a listen real fast. I'm going to target this frequency right here, and I want this to be moving up. So I'm gonna hit the up button right here, and I'm gonna set that threshold to probably right here. So whenever a frequency comes up past the negative 15.7 dB mark, it'll push this frequency up. So you can see it moving up right there. We could do the same thing, but down over here. So this allows for you to make EQ moves that aren't really dramatic. They're more responsive to the audio. So this is I mean it offers a much more balanced approach to EQ rather than just taking this EQ and then cutting it, just notching that frequency out or bumping it up. We can only bump it up when that frequency is present past a certain point. So it's really helpful, especially for the mastering process. Um, so let's go over a couple of the controls. I'm gonna use the threshold right here. So this will trigger when the volume for that frequency band passes the threshold. So at this point, it's set negative 31.3 dB. So once it jumps past there, then it'll start to engage the dynamic EQ, and we can adjust the setting up or down right there. We can also adjust the attack and release, but I'd recommend using the auto scale because of the Ozone's algorithm for triggering this is really good for the dynamic EQ. Plus, it's just one step you don't have to worry about. Again, just like our other EQ, we can adjust mid side and left right. Is really helpful, especially if you got something that's like a really boomy sub bass or something. And you want to just affect the mids and have that duck a little bit. Like maybe we could try it right here. So you can kind of hear the difference. It's really subtle, but I mean that's what mastering is all about. A bunch of subtle moves and then a huge volume push at the end. So and I mean that's really about it for the dynamic EQ as far as differences in the than the standard EQ. We also have a digital mode and analog mode, like we were talking about earlier. But I mean, all you're getting with the analog mode is the extra color. So that's about it for the dynamic EQ.